Hello. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Heather Freilich. I work as a licensed massage therapist, myofascial release practitioner, and Reiki master based in Chicago, Illinois. And today I'm here to share with you a very simple grounding movement and energy healing routine for your lower body. A lot of times we are operating in our head, especially if we're feeling a lot of stress and tension. And this is a way for you to simply drop down into your body, out of your head, and we're going to be focusing on just releasing some tension in the hips and legs. And the hips energetically govern change and how we adapt to change. If we tend to be very fluid, go with the flow, our hips tend to mirror that. They tend to be pretty fluid, open, go with the flow. If we tend to resist a lot of change and not go with the flow so well, that shows up in our hips too. They tighten down, they're not as flexible, they're not as loose. Low back, hip, knee pain can be a result. And we have a little visitor during our time together, one of my cats, Sadie. She's very curious about what's going on. That tends to happen during this day and age with many of us working from home. Our pets and children like to be in the video as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and actually start this routine. And this is a simple routine that I tend to start off a lot of my myofascial release work with. And what we're going to be starting off in this week's Art of Letting Go class, which we're going to be focusing on lower body releases. But for right now, we're just going to do the warm-up that we're going to be doing in that class. So I'm going to scoot back to my yoga mat. I'm going to suggest that you be on a yoga mat or a carpeted area, and I'm just going to move this camera too. As you could tell, I'm newer to this world of putting videos out there, so thanks for bearing with my novice attempts to change the angle and whatnot. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start off in a comfortable cross-legged position. And to get ourselves out of our heads energetically and down into our hips and body, is we're going to just do some gentle pats just beneath the belly button and above the pubic bone. This is waking up our sacral chakra, our chakra of relationship to the world around us, relationship to life, relationship to others. This is also the region that houses raw emotion that we just feel primally and instinctively, as well as our creative center. We literally create life from this area. So we're just dropping out of our heads and down into our bodies by these gentle pats. And you want to make sure that your wrists are nice and loose. If they're stiff, you can actually hurt yourself, so make them nice and loose. Now we're going to go ahead and discontinue the pats and just bring our hands to our knees. We want to get the synovial fluid moving throughout our hip joints. It's like our oil for our joints. So we're going to go ahead and just take some large circles going one way. And you might notice part of the circle feeling a little grippy or pulley. Maybe you're moving fluidly. And I don't know if you hear that little pop, but I could tell my hips are slightly out of alignment because one side is sinking down into the floor underneath me more than others, the other side. And you might notice that too. And let's go the other way. So we want to make sure to say hello to both sides, make sure both hips have some nice fluid moving in them before we start any stretches. Excellent. Now from there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our legs just slightly further than hip distance apart. And lift your toes up so you're resting on your heels. And you're just going to windshield wipe your legs from side to side. Continue loosening, opening up and softening your hips before we do the two stretches we're going to focus on here. And the two stretches we're going to focus on are actually the two main stabilizers in the lower body, the psoas muscle and the piriformis. So let's go ahead and bring our knees to center. Now bring your legs in a little bit so you're more hip distance apart. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take one leg and make a figure four. Now, if this is too intense for you, you can straighten out your bottom leg a little more to decrease the intensity. Or if it's not enough, go ahead and step your foot in so you have a little bit more of a stretch. And you're going to want to feel the stretch in this hip region here where the piriformis muscle lies. And you can go ahead and just slightly rock your legs back to forth a little bit. Most important, always listen to your body. If this is too intense for you or you're feeling outright pain, discontinue the technique. Excellent. And go ahead and take a deep breath in, breathing into that psoas muscle in your hip. Slowly exhaling out. This muscle is responsible for turning our leg out. So instead of having your toes face forward, your toes will face out to the side because this muscle's activated. And sometimes this could get a little too tight, and since it connects into the sacrum region, can start to cause some low back pain. So we want to make sure that this is nice and open. Go ahead and take another deep breath in. And slowly exhale out. And one more time. Breathing into the stretch and imagining releasing tension with your exhale. Let it leave your body through your breath. And then go ahead and step this leg out. Bring your hip down. Let's windshield wipe again for a moment. We're going to go to the other side. So, take your opposite side, whether it's your left or right, and either you could keep your bottom leg out here if you're already feeling a stretch, or you can walk the foot in until you feel the stretch in the back of your hip. And then you can rock your leg from side to side a little bit. Just continue opening that hip. And once again, if you feel outright pain, discontinue the technique. Or adjust the stretch so it's not as intense. And when you're ready, let's do a series of 3 deep breaths in and out. Breathing in through your nose, filling your belly, then your chest up with air and oxygen. Slowly exhale out of your mouth. Or you can let a sigh out, doesn't have to be a pierced lip. One more time, go ahead and breathe in. And slowly exhale out. Okay, go ahead and step your bottom leg out. Bring your foot down. Windshield wipe one more time. Now we're going to go up into a psoas stretch. Now to give you a heads up, my head might be cut off from the camera. So what we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and come to your hands and knees. Take one foot out in front of you and make your knee a little bit larger than a 90-degree angle. And as long as this doesn't hurt your knee, you could do this technique. If you feel pain in your knee, I'm going to suggest staying out of this technique. And if you want a suggestion for a modification, go ahead and contact me, either in the comments below or at my email, heather@heatherfralick.com. Then from there, if this feels okay on your knee, go ahead and take your hands up to the top knee. And then what you're going to do, my head's going to go away for a minute, but you're going to want to lift up and then sink forward until that front knee is at a 90-degree angle. And ideally, you want to feel the stretch here in your psoas region, or you might feel a little more in your quad. But once again, these stretches are not a no pain, no gain experience. So if this feels painful, outright painful, discontinue the technique. Go ahead and take a deep breath in with me. Keeping your back upright, slowly exhale out. Now go ahead and bring one hand down, the other hand inside. Come back to your hands and knees. And we're just going to go ahead and rock forward and back a couple of times just to settle out both sides. Now let's do the other side. Now you can hold this stretch for a little bit longer than what we're doing, but for the purposes of this video, we're just holding it for a nice deep breath in and out. So once again, if you don't feel pain on the bottom knee, go ahead and take your hands to the top knee and sink forward so you get into a 90-degree angle. Now you're also welcome to do stuff with your arms. You can go ahead and reach your arms up. You can always take the hand of the front leg on your knee and then stretch over to that side with your upper body. Or you could just keep your hands here on the front knee. Take a nice deep breath in. Slowly exhale out. Bring one hand down, then the other. Come back to all fours and rock forward and back. We're going to end with one more thing. It's a little bit of an energy technique. So you're going to bring your legs out in front of you. Now, energetically, the meridians in the body, which are energy pathways that acupuncturists and Chinese medicine practitioners work with, the outside of the leg, when the energy is moving optimally, the energy ideally should be moving down. When the energy is moving optimally on the inside of the leg, that energy is moving up. So we want to just go ahead and encourage that energy is moving properly from the outside and the inside of your legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to brush down the outside of the legs, come around the feet, brush up inside the legs. Do that 2 more times. Brush down, and brush up. One more time, brush down and brush up. Now we're going to stimulate that energy flow by using loose wrists and patting down the outside of the legs and patting up the inside of the legs. Go ahead and do that again. Pat down, pat up. One more time. Pat down, pat up. If you want to go ahead and just give your feet a little squeeze, anytime you touch the feet, that is immediately grounding to the system. So that is a sample of the warm-up routine that I do with my students in the Art of Letting Go Myofascial Release Self-Care Workshop. There is a workshop this Thursday online at 5:30 p.m. Central Time where we're going to be focusing on the lower body releases. The hips, the low back, the quads, the hamstrings, just to get the lower body nice and fluid to help you move through this time with greater ease. And if you would like more information on other events and workshops and retreats that I'm going to be offering virtually during this time, feel free to hop on over to my website, www.heatherfralick.com, and click on the Workshops and Retreats tab, and more information will be there. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them in the comments below this video, or you can reach out to me once again at Heather@heatherfralick, F as in Frank, R-A-E, L as in like, I, C as in cat, K as in kite.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.